We don't want church as usual today, Lord God. We want unusual church, Lord God. We want to see it as Lord Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory, 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 glory. Glory to God. Come on, put those hands together. If you come to praise Him, come on. That's it, come on, PBC. The Word of God says that He inhabits the praises of His people. The Word of God. We praise You. Oh Lord, we praise You. Oh Lord, we praise You. Oh Lord, we praise You. Come on,
that we praise Him for who He is and not what He wants. Because He's an awesome God. He was with us while we were across the seas, and He kept us safe. And He just showed us so many things. He really spoke to us. And I'm sure the pastor's going to talk about it today, but I just wanted to say, and I wanted to do my part. Before I left, I told God that He's been so good to me and my family. And I was a little nervous about going, but before we left, I just said, you know what? He's been so good to me that I just want to go and I want to serve Him. When we went to Haiti, I just wanted to give whatever I could. I didn't want to let fear hold me back. I didn't want to let my comfort zone keep me where I was. So I just told God I wanted to serve when I came back. I had so much to bring with me. And this song was in my heart. I just said, I gotta do my part. I gotta give something. I'm sure all of us here have something to give, but I just wanted to give this song because I know that God is good because of who He is. You know, in the Old Testament, He would always talk about how He would tell the prophets, go and tell the people so that they may know that I am the Lord God. And so right now, God just wants you to know who He is. and just worship God today because of who He is. Because that's all we can do. We can't pay Him enough for the sacrifice He did on Calvary. All we can do is say, God, thank you. Because He's an awesome God, y'all. He's a faithful God. And He loves us. So we just want to praise Him today. Because of who you are, I give.
Haiti, but I mean, there's so much to say. So grateful. Bible study this Wednesday at 6:30. Ladies, keep selling your raffle tickets. We're gonna do the drawing next Sunday, and you can bring your money next Sunday too, because Nikki's not here today, so she will collect the next Sunday. We have postponed the chicken dinner sale. We will announce the time and the date soon. The Back to School Talent Show is happening. Contact Chanel. It is going to be Saturday, August the 18th, and it's going to be awesome. All right, so before we have the sermon, Pastor Tedrick wants to talk to you all. So I'm not going to pray this yet.
All right, everybody say amen, everybody. Please say amen. All right, so we're going to do things a little bit different today. It's going to be time to give. We're going to give before the sermon because we have a special guest from the Gideon Society that wants to talk to us. We've been doing a lot of partnering with them. And so we want to come to the church, and what we're going to do is he's going to give a presentation after the sermon, and then we'll pick up a special collection to give to the Gideon Society, because they bring Bibles all over the world, and there was a big need in Haiti. So this is still a part of ministry and a part of giving. But before we start to give, I want to talk to you about just giving for a quick second before we pick it up. And you guys are y'all know I'm not the type to really get up here and just beat you guys over the head for money, because I understand that everybody's faith is not at 10%, right? Amen? Some people pay not even at 1%. So, and I want to challenge you guys before we pick up collections to really give, because the Bible says, in this Old Testament, everybody says, the Old Testament, we don't have to give no more. But however, everybody just want to throw the Old Testament over, but they still want to be the head and not the tail. Amen? That's the Old Testament, above and not beneath, the lender and not the borrower. I'll take that. So y'all know my teaching on tithe, and I don't think you're under the curse if you don't tithe. But I was really challenged, and a lot of stuff in this mission trip really challenged me. It was my first time going on a mission trip, and it's been about 10 years since the last mission trip I went on to Mexico. And every time you go on a mission trip, it wrecks your theology. It wrecks your perspective. It wrecks everything you know as true about the gospel, because you got to ask yourself when you come back, does my gospel, could I preach that same gospel in Haiti? And so, but as we were going and we were on the trip, I was just challenging my heart, because a lot of money we raised was given by the church. We picked up a special collection. Some of you guys served and given during the tribe sale, and some of you guys gave out of pocket, and some of you put your own money up to go. And so, when I was thinking about that, and I just was thinking about it, I said, we can't rob God anymore. We can't rob God anymore when it comes down to our giving. And I'm going to tell you why, because this church, our motives are pure. That whole Haiti trip and what we're going to do, it showed me that our church, our motives are pure, and we want to advance the kingdom. So why wouldn't I challenge you guys, living in the land of milk and honey, and trust me, America is the land of milk and honey, to take God and put him any other place in your life except first. Right? And we want him to be first in our trouble. When we're in trouble, we want him to be first in our family. But when it comes down to giving, we want to say, okay, God, I'll give you my leftovers. And God says he's going to be first of all, and he'll be nothing at all. So I want to challenge you guys. I want to push you guys. I really want to push you and this is my way of putting pressure on you. I know some of y'all should have bought y'all school clothes already. Amen? Amen. Hey, you wait till the last minute. I can tell you right now, your children have the dreams about showing up to school in their underwear. I can tell you right now. So I want to get back and get refocused on giving, because there's so much that we do at this church. When it comes down to plant churches in China, we've done that. We've been there. We've done that. The Cameroon mission trip, Madison just went on with the ladies, and seeing him minister to hundreds and hundreds of women in Africa who needed to hear a word of encouragement from the Lord. And being able to be this church, your dollars went to sponsor that. So you got to look at some lady in Africa who had given up hope. She was able to go to a conference 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, which gave them hope. Our tithes, we went to Haiti because we took our tithes, 10% of our tithes from the second quarter went to the Haiti mission trip to help people go. And people were fed, and they were clothed and encouraged, and it did more. The crazy part is it did more for the people from this church that went
than it did for the people that was over there. So, but your dollars went to do that. And everybody, we can't depend on a few people to toe the rope and be able to give sacrificially and say, you know what, I want to be a part of the church, and I want y'all give, and I just, no, it takes us all to be able to give, because giving is what got us in padded chairs. Let me tell you a little bit about what our tithes are going to do next month. Next quarter, we're going to send our tithes. That means 10% everything we pick up. They have a church that these benches, the crazy part is, as you look around the church today, you see a lot of empty seats. Over in Haiti, there's so many people trying to bust the church down. They don't have enough seats to put the people. And they don't have air conditioning. And then a big old spider can crawl in right in the middle of the service and wreck the whole service up, and people still run to that church. And just to serve God, they don't have enough benches for the people to sit down. And it's not padded chairs. It's old school. Not even the pews that we had at our old church. It's just 2 1-bys on the bottom and 2 1-bys on the top. And they sit in it, and they would love to have that. They would appreciate that, because they'll stand for their sermon. And trust me, they old school Baptists. They in there for hours. I can tell you that much. And so we're going to help them finish their church. That's our time. Their church needs to be finished. They don't have a piano or drums or anything like that. We're going to help them build a cafeteria for the kids to come and eat. They don't have a place to feed their kids because they don't have enough benches in the church. They can't even let their kids go to church to eat their food in the building. We're going to help finish their school. The kids, they have to kick kids out. Matter of fact, one thing, they have to pay for each kid to go to school. They don't have free education. So if you complain about your kids' education, it's your fault. Your kid is not doing good because it's free. And you can make the most of it. So they have to pay, but at 6th grade, they got to kick the kids out of school because they don't have anywhere to put them. So we're going to help them finish the school. So now those kids that they will kick out, they can go to school instead of stopping at 6th grade. We can let them go to 9th grade. That's where our dollars are going to go. And we cannot have our people say, you know what, I'm going to take my money and I'm going to have all these creature comforts and put God last. And we just can't, as a pastor, I can't allow you to stay there. Can I get amen? Amen? I can't allow you to stay there in your giving. So I want to challenge you. If you say, well, Pastor, I can't afford to give. I can't afford to give, Pastor. My challenge to you, do you have a cell phone? Do you have cable? Do you have all these creature comforts and these extra stuff, and you're going to put God before? All that stuff come before God? Because I know we can change the world. And that's what we do here at the church. And it's just, I'm so, people say what they want about it. Say, oh, Pastor, all they want is money. Yes, because we can change the world with dollars, right? We can send missionaries with dollars. We can bring them Bibles with dollars. After the service, we're going to give people our collection. And after, right now, one of the biggest things, the pastor, you see the big, beautiful Bible I got sitting up here? His Bible is this big.
And with duct tape.
With duct tape on it, right? And so we're going to pick up a collection for the Gideon Society because they need Bibles in Creole, right? We had a whole stack of Bibles in English up there, but a lot of people can't read English, so it doesn't do anything. But if we can get them a bunch of Creole Bibles, nobody, as a matter of fact, on top of that, the only 2 people who had Bibles in their church was the pastors. Because there's no other place to get Bibles. They can't afford Bibles. So we can help change that around the world with our dollars. So I want to challenge you, stop wanting to live comfort and say, what could I do to make myself more comfort? I'm not telling you this. Y'all know where I stand on giving, right? I'm not saying this for me. I'm not saying it for I can benefit. I'm saying it for the world. We can go around the world. So we're going to have Chris play just a little something. And we're going to pick up. And I want to challenge you guys to go home and change your perspective. If you're here and you say, you know what, I can't afford to give 10%, Pastor. I can't afford to give an offering. I want to challenge you on what's more important than giving to those. And do you want to put a guilt trip on me, Pastor, if I feel bad after I leave church? Yup. Yup. You know, because we can do a lot more. I want to get, my goal is to go back to Haiti in a year and see a cafeteria put up. I asked the guy, I said, what could you do with $8,000? If we give you $8,000 over the course of the year, he said we can finish building our school. We can be almost complete. We can be almost complete building the school. We can totally finish our church. We can buy benches and pews and things to help us worship God a little bit better. And then the crazy part, I said, well, Pastor, what can we do for you? How can we bless you? Because this man has a degree. He chose to leave Port-au-Prince, which is the city, go out the country and serve those people. And I said, well, and his house got destroyed in an earthquake. So I sat down there and I said, well, Pastor, what can we do for you? I know you can't take us out of the church. How can we help you out? He said, he looked at me, he said, oh, I support myself by teaching. And I said, no, besides teaching, I know you support yourself. I said, what can we as a church do to bless your life? I know your house got messed up. He said, man, I just want to send my kids to college. He said, I wouldn't do nothing for myself. I just want to send my kids to college. To pay to go to college for his kids. So he's not self-focused. He's more focused on changing the kingdom of God and changing his community. And you know that jumped in my spirit. Because I got a spirit just like that. I want to see people, everybody come up. It don't make no sense for me to keep everybody's thought. Let's all come together. So I want to challenge you in your giving to tithe because God loves a cheerful giver. That's what he said. He didn't say he loves somebody who keep you perfect. He said, I love cheerful givers. That's what I love. So let's give exceedingly. I'm just saying, let's just give God what he deserves. Right? Amen? If that won't be down, let's come here, right? Let's give this sound here. Abundantly that you've given us, Lord. So we love you. We thank you, Lord. Let this be a life-changing message, Lord, that somebody leaves here, Lord, just determined, Lord, determined to serve you, Lord, and determined to give all to you, Lord, determined to just live out a sense of purpose, Lord, and not out of a sense of just surviving, Lord, and with a sense of just a worldview of what your gospel means to the world, Lord. So we love you. We thank you for allowing us to make it back in here, Lord. Thank you for what happened last week, the word that went forward, Lord, and the people who just came to worship you, Lord. And I thank you for this week, Lord, for allowing these people to be here, Lord. I ask that you add a special blessing to their life, Lord, and you just continue to keep them. In Jesus' name, I pray. And everybody said, Amen, amen. So today I want to do something a little different when it comes down to my preacher today. Y'all know I'm just a sucker from the Bible, a sucker from the Word, and I always like to open up the Bible and just dig deep and just try to make everybody in here a Rhodes Scholar. But I'm going to do something a little bit different this Sunday. So we're probably not going to open up our Bibles. I know that's crazy for the Prevailing Church. It never happens. But the scripture that I'll be coming from today, and you can read it, is in Philippians 4, verses 11 through 13. You might be familiar with 13, right? I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, right? We all know that verse is a very familiar verse. But before that, Paul said, not that I have need, He was talking to the Philippian church. He said, now that I have need, I'm not telling you this because I want something from you or I want to guilt you into giving me something. He said, I'm content where I'm at. You know, I've had a lot and I've had a little bit and I'm still content. And then he said this. He said the next verse, he said, but I've learned the secret. There's a secret to contentment. And I've learned to be content whether I'm well-fed or well-fed or hungry. And, you know, whatever circumstances is, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And so that verse was on my mind as I was, as we were on our way to Haiti, and I'm going to talk about that today. When we got there, it was on my mind, and I really was challenging my contentment about life, right? Haiti has a almost 0% suicide rate. You know that? Almost 0%. The poorest country, listen, they're the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. So that means if you got all the Americas, right, and that's the Western Hemisphere, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and almost 0% of their citizens kill themselves. Guess who the highest rate of suicide is in the Western Hemisphere? America. What's the richest country in the Western Hemisphere? America. Why? Because we didn't learn the secret of being content, right? We can't be content with, we got everything and we can't be content. These people have nothing and they've learned the secret to being content. So before I start this, I just want to give praise where praise is due, and I want to give praise to my wife. Because she worked hard. I know she's in the back of Children's Church. She worked extra hard coordinating all this that happened. I'm talking about and I told y'all this when we were talking about marriage, right? I call the place and she makes it happen, right? So I just called the place and she made it happen. And she worked very hard and she bothered everybody. Big, she was in there begging for money. We got to get this and we need this. And just whatever she had to do to get whoever wanted to go to Haiti there, she did it. And it was awesome. And it was amazing. And I just love being married to her. So I just want to thank her and give her a public praise. I've given her private praise, but I just want to give her public praise for allowing us to go there. So I'm trying to give some lessons we learned today. One of the first and biggest lessons I learned in Haiti, right? So there was this one night, the second night we were there, and everybody kind of was camped out and, just kind of getting comfortable. The second night we were there, and so we was just sitting down talking. I was sitting down, I was laying on the mat, and I was talking to somebody, and I looked up and I said, look at that spot. And so the person who I was talking to was from America, and they were looking on the floor like, where is that? And I said, no, look at that spot. This thing, listen to this. This thing, you know how you go to the zoo and see them little spiders in the cage, and you tap on the they move? This thing was so big, bigger than my hand, literally bigger than my hand, and it just kind of came up over the window. It was like, what y'all doing? What everybody doing here? So all the women, and Chantel not here today, but Chantel did the Jackie Chan move up off that floor by the wall, and then Marcus, and she hollered, Marcus just there. I don't know whether he had earphones in, but when he saw the thing, I don't know what happened. I think he just teletransported from by the wall where the spider was, and he was standing over by I didn't see him run. So this big old spider just came over the wall, and so I just laid down. I didn't know what I didn't have no plan, so Lincoln run in the room like he gonna kill a spider, right? Then Lincoln said, he said to himself when he saw the spider, he said, I ain't gonna do nothing but make that spider mad. So our guys went over and hit it, and it ran out the window, and it just scurried off. At least we thought. So what the spider did was Buster moved to the other window and came up over that window, and finally they hunted the spider down and caught the spider. And so that was one of the first lessons I learned that you bad when you kill the smallest. What's up? My house, spider like that, they could have had the whole house. You know what I'm saying? The whole house. So we were there, and so we had a real good time just discovering what was going on in Haiti. So and I just was kind of thinking, I was like, Lord, what am I going to preach on? And I got a lot of stuff I'm going to preach on. So for the next month, my sermon is going to be from things I learned from Haiti. So I'm going to just go through some of the things. The first thing I learned was this. I learned something about God. God communicates in all languages. All languages. When God is so big, and God is so just sovereign. That means He knows all. He's over everything. He's so sovereign. So when He talked to me, He talked to me in English, right? But now when He talks to somebody else, He talks to them in Creole, right? And He talks to people in French, and He talks to people in Spanish. And when He speaks to their heart, He doesn't have to just talk to everybody in English. Our American arrogance think that God relates to everybody like He relates to us. But no, He can speak every language. And more than that, He not only can speak every language, but He can speak to every need. Specifically to that need, because my need might not be your need. I might not deal with what you deal with, and you might be dealing with something totally different. But the great thing about God is He can speak everybody's language exactly the way they need to hear His voice in whatever language they want to, because I had my own problem when I went over there with a language barrier. So one morning I woke up and I said to myself, I'm going to play soccer with the boys. I see the boys out there playing soccer. I'm going to go out there and play me some soccer. So I woke up early before all the big boys got up. Right, I went out there with the little boys, right? And I'm playing with these little boys, and then so they had this little one, he was running around, he was the boss, man, so I'm gonna go right at the boss. What you wanna do? You know, so I'm playing him rough, and I'm roughing him up. He probably like Andrew size, and I'm roughing him up. And then so every time I rough him up, he'll look at me and go, "Whoa!" So I was like, okay, what did you say? So then I go play with him, and I rough him up again, he go, "Whoa!" That's the way he cursed me out. That's a curse word. There gotta be a curse word when I'm talking about it. There gotta be a curse word. So I kept roughing him up, and he was, "Fool!" He's looking at me, pointing at me, and I'm looking, "Fool!" And so back to him. You know what I'm saying? Well, I asked somebody later on that day, I said, "What fool mean?" Wow, that's exactly what it meant. So it was a big language barrier to me when I was trying to play with this little boy, and I'm like, okay, God, like, what can I learn from the language barrier? And God just speaking to my heart saying, guess what? I love them over here in Haiti just like I love you, and you can't look at their circumstances through your eyes and your vision and call them poor or call them broke or call them uneducated or call them anything, because I love them just like I love you, and I talk to them just like I talk to you, because one of us has it wrong. We went to Port-au-Prince. We landed in Port-au-Prince. It's burning up. It's burning up. And I'm talking, it's hot. It's like that Louisiana hot. And so I already know we ain't got no air conditioning. So we in the city. And this is where the people, people with the money in Port-au-Prince. So we go to this house, big 2-story house. Man, it's nice and all this good stuff. And we go in, they ain't got no air conditioning at night. So everybody kind of got rooms. So I kind of went up to the top. It was my first time sleeping on the outside. I was like, I was going to sleep on the outside, so I'm out there on my sleeping bag, I'm good. The only problem I had was Lincoln was up there snoring. That was the only problem I had. And so, trust, he snores. Pray for glory. Lord, you lift me up fast and fast. But anyway, so we regret it. So I was trying to have some regret. I was like, man, Lord, why I came all the way down here? You know what I'm saying? This is hot. And then they have a bad trash counter. The way they do their trash, they just kind of go in the street. So we have flies flies on everything. Right? Don't say that. Don't, because I'm going to go there. Don't say that, because food and is real good when you don't know where your next meal coming from. I tell you, that fly laying on it, you ain't going to have it. Better give me a piece of that. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up leaving 6-hour drive up this rocky hill. They don't have roads outside the city. Like, nobody has roads. So it's like kind of like real bumpy and real climbing this big mountain. This huge mountain. 6 hours up this mountain. And, well, it was probably like 4 hours up the mountain and probably about 2 hours back down to where we was going to be at. The terrain was so rough, only Toyotas can get there. That's all we saw there. That's the truth. There's Toyota there, because I drive a Toyota. But so we get there, and then it's an island, y'all. It's like Haiti is an island, just like the Dominican Republic and Hawaii, and it's just this beautiful tropical environment. And so you get out there and you see, and I'm talking about God, how God speaks, and God is everywhere, right? So we're thinking they're going to be poor, in extreme poverty, because the people in the city think these people are poor people in the country. So we get there, and it's this lush forest. I'm talking about it's this beautiful forest, and all the houses are made of concrete. They're made of like nice. They look like the old Popeyes, except the roof is not as high, and they have tint instead of shingles. Wow. Just like it, just cinder block, concrete walls. And I'm like, well, this is not bad. Like, where's the poor stuff coming? And so we go in and we get to the church and all the cinder block places around, and I'm sitting there like, well, Lord, like, I don't know who has it wrong, because when they build their house, they don't have a mortgage on their house. Amen. So they don't have to keep getting up and to every day go pay a mortgage. And then their food, let me tell you about their food. Their food is, we were working on a school site, and we probably had to walk probably from here to the parking lot. I'll say, why is the parking lot is long, right? We had to walk from there where we were staying to the up through the like little forest area to get to the school we were working on. Well, in that small walk, listen, there's a coffee bean tree, there's pumpkins, there's mangoes, there's, if I'm missing something, there's tree fruit, passion fruit, then they have tree fruit, there's yams, there's carrots, there's onions, there's all this food out there, and they just kind of walk up to, in the tree, how they cook their food, they make trees into coal. I didn't even know you could do that. I thought coal was coal, and tree was tree. But they make trees out of coal, and they cook their food, so they have all the food they need. Nobody's going to die of starvation. And so I'm sitting there, and then the morning, when we wake up in the morning, those people in there praising God. And they're not just praising God, they're praising God. And they're worshiping God, and a lot of the old hymns we sing, they were singing them in Creole, and you kind of caught the tune. And they just, all the kids, you should have saw all the kids in there, they were worshiping God. And I'm sitting there like, Lord, we got everything in the world. We got air conditioning. We got everything we need in the whole, anything we can need. Anything, forget need, because they got everything they need. Yeah. We got everything we want. And these people, you're speaking to these people, we're thanking you for our new house that we got to pay a mortgage on for the next 30 years. Yeah. And we need glory. Yeah. And these people are praising, they don't have air conditioning, and y'all forgot about the spider, right? That's the same spider can come visit them any time of night, and they're worshiping you with nothing. So why can I give you all the glory, and all the honor, and all the praise? And because I believe no matter what we got, like Paul said, in every circumstance, I've learned to give him thanks. And I think a lot of the stuff that we deal with distracts us from truly hearing the voice of God. Because we have to wake up, and if we don't go to work, nobody eats. But for them, if they don't go to work, they still go get their eat. So I learned that God speaks to us in every language, because I was about to bust that kid in the mouth. I was in him, y'all. I was like, don't disrespect me. Come all the way down here. The next thing I learned is spiritual warfare is real. Spiritual warfare, we take it for granted that, we're so comfortable in America. We don't, I guess, we lose the fight because we don't know we're fighting, because everything is so comfortable to us. So one night on Wednesday night, we had worship service. We had a great worship service, and so we came in, and let me just say this one. Before I get on spiritual warfare, right? So we met two missionary groups. It was us, and it was another group, and they had a few whites in their group, a few blacks, few whites in their group. And so what I had to do was explain to the whites that was in their group about black people time. So let me tell y'all something, okay? You got two types of time. They got white people time, which is on time, and they got black people time, which is 15 minutes late. So I thought we was on black people time, right? And we were waiting for the band to come, and so I thought our clock was reading black. I was like, okay, I'm cool with black people time, we're good, right? And then there's Haitian time. That's two different times. That's an hour late. That's like an hour and something late. And then I would have the nerve to get mad at the church service going to start an hour late. You mean tell me I got here on time? Y'all said 6 o'clock. I'm here at 6 p.m. The pastor on white people time. I'm here at 6 o'clock, and the pastor ain't showed up yet. I'm mad. I'm like, I'm walking out. We walking out, man. We ain't going to stay here. And then so Andrew just kind of tempts me. I was like, where are you going? I said, you're right. Here we go. So that night, this pastor spoke. His name was Fair Denou. Pastor Fair Denou. And so he and his sermon was, was perfect. Was probably some of y'all would love to be under Pastor Fair Denou, because Pastor Fair Denou's sermon probably was 7, maybe 10 minutes. He got up in there, he was shouting before he got on the block. He was just shouting, right? And the same shout, the same Baptist shout sound the same in Creole as it sound in American. So when he talked about, we had a translator. And so he told a story. He came from Romans 1:16. He said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power for life. It is power. And he talked about power. Then he went into telling his testimony. He went into telling his testimony how he was a voodoo priest. He was a voodoo priest, and he talked about how he was a voodoo priest and he thought he had power. And so like back in the day, way back in the day, like way before I met Ashley, right? Y'all make sure y'all tell that way before I met Ashley. I used to date a girl who was from Haiti. And she used to tell me these stories about like how the voodoo priest and priestess are able to like they'll stop a car. And they'll do stuff like put all this stuff, like in New Orleans, kind of like it's kind of like a novelty thing in New Orleans. But she's like, no, in our country, that stuff is real. They actually have power. And the only way you can live your life in any comfort and not control by it if you are a Christian, right? You don't have power over the Christians. So she told me that a long time ago, so I kind of forgot about it. And so this dude started talking about, just the voodoo culture and how God delivered him from that and how God protected him from people who wanted to kill him, and he had to give God the glory for it. So I was kind of interested, so I talked to one of our guys. I started talking to him about spiritual things in the voodoo culture. He told me the story about that his mom was a voodoo priestess. His mom was a voodoo priestess, and he ended up getting saved. And he started telling me about all this stuff that happens in these rituals and all this stuff. And for me, I never talked to anybody who, because we hear about it, right? And we see it in movies and we see this stuff, but he said he actually lived and saw this stuff with his own eyes. And I'm like, if I don't think spirits just operate in Haiti. I think Satan is world. Satan is international, right? Satan is not there. So if things like that are happening in Haiti, what is the equivalent for America? Right? What is the equivalent for America if things like that can really happen in Haiti? Are they happening here and we just don't know it? And then I go back to what the girl told me a long time ago, is that but when you live your life for Christ, it don't have no protection. And if you read the Bible, you can read the Bible, and I tell y'all this all the time, that the Bible says in Ephesians 5, our battle is not against flesh and blood. Ephesians 6, but against principalities and powers and rulers of darkness in heavenly realms, and how there's wickedness in trying to attack us. And so I want to encourage, I learned a lesson, and I want to tell you guys that, and I'm not going to be deep and I'm trying to explain it, but you got to make sure, even if you're walking with God, and even if your relationship is tight, that don't give us the license to step outside of the will of God for our life into sin, because the penalty, the Bible is real, the penalty for sin is still death. But he said the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus, right? So, but when we step out and we get into sin, there's always a penalty to pay. So you got to be careful that you're not stepping out the ring. You got to protect us. And Jesus said, I'm going to protect you. You just stay still to see my salvation. You just know that I'm going. I want to give you, I want to protect you. And in my hand, the Bible said, the devil in hell can't pluck you out the hand of Jesus. But you can walk out. Because free will, if Jesus could not change Judas' will to betray him, right? He gave Judas free will to go out there and betray him. What about you? And when you step out of God's will, a lot of stuff we deal with is not the will of God for our life. Sometimes He put us through some stuff to make us stronger and make us fight, but sometimes when we choose to step outside the will of God into something else, it still has the principalities, the power. We might not call it voodoo priestess and stuff like that. We might not mess with it, but when we step out, I believe this. I believe all those things your enemy is saying about you, we might not call it voodoo, but guess what? There's life and death and power in the tongue. Right? If the voodoo people can have life and death in the power, if they can have death in the power of their tongue, the haters got death in the power of their tongue, the people that don't like you got death in the power of their tongue, and that same principle going to apply over here. We are in spiritual warfare. I'm telling you, the Thursday before we left, I'm telling you right now, the Thursday before we left, the Wednesday before we left, no, the Thursday before we left, that Wednesday and that Thursday, I had a heavy burden. Wow. It was a weight. It was a full weight that was on me. And I was saying, man, I don't know what's going on. I just don't know it. I was praying, but I know what it was, right? Because, listen, before, you remember the guy, Jesus went, he crossed over, and he delivered the man who was demon possessed, and he asked the demon, what is your name? And he said, Legion, because we're so many. You remember that? You remember that story, right? So, but before Jesus got with Legion, it was, you don't remember, right before that, what event happened? I'm going to tell you the event that happened. The disciples on the sea, and they were being buffeted by the wind and the waves. And that's when Jesus came walking along, and Peter said, let me get up out the boat. And when Peter got up out the boat, the waves and the wind didn't stop. Peter just started looking at the waves and the wind, and he lost the battle. Jesus had to pick him up and out the water, right? He had to pick him up out of the sea and say, why did you doubt? Right? And I think the same thing. When we were going over there, we were bringing a team of praisers, a team of people who was going to just, their life was going to be changed. We were going to change the life of the people in Haiti, and Satan did not want us to make it over there to do that. And that's why, let me back up, that's why I'm challenging you in your finances, right? Because guess what? If Satan knows that the money you give to this church, that money is going to be used to go over and help a church in his territory, right? Where voodoo is prevalent, where all this you finna give money, you think Satan's going to step in and say, yeah, give it all. He's going to bring doubt in your heart. He's going to try to take your finances. And the best protection you can have around your finances is put it in the hands of Jesus. Now, I ain't said bring me all your money, right? But if you come with your money, right, guess what? Okay, so that's another. Spiritual warfare is true. Spiritual warfare is true. And we got to be mindful that just like they have to fight in the head and they got to keep themselves tight with the will of God, guess what? We got to do the same thing too. Because it's not, and then the Bible said, the same thing with the demons called legion, right? The demons legion and Jesus cast it out. The Bible says this. It says that the demons asked Jesus, he said, don't send us out of this area. Allow us to go into the pigs. The pigs run off into the sea and drown themselves. But the demons still didn't leave that area. They just were looking for another man to be legionary. Right? They were just looking for another man. So we got to make sure we keep ourselves tight. And the best way to keep ourselves tight, right? It says, put on the shoes of peace, the belt of truth, the shield of faith, the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, right? And the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, right? And we got to clothe ourselves. Make sure your spiritual armor tight because you are in a battle, right? So the next thing I learned is God. Sometimes God has to allow destruction in order to bring His will, right? So I was talking to people, and I'm just talking about it, and they were telling me about the voodoo priest. And as this guy was telling me this testimony about how prevalent and how strong voodoo was in that area, he said, "But the best thing happened to us. The best thing happened to us when the earthquake came." And I was like, "The best thing happened," because we know that the earthquake almost wiped Haiti off the map. He said that was the best thing that could have happened to Haiti. He said because when that earthquake hit, a lot of the voodoo priests, including his mom, saw the destruction and they started giving their life. Now his mama didn't fully give her life over to Christ, but she stopped practicing a lot of things she was practicing. He said, "I got it this close, Pastor. I'm gonna get her. She's gonna get saved," right? But he said when the hurricane hit, a lot of the voodoo priests and priestesses, they saw the destruction and they saw the death and the chaos, and they started coming to church because Christians was on the ground doing things. And so those people came in and they started giving their life to Christ. And he said it totally changed. He said voodoo was very popular. Voodoo was like everybody was practicing it. It was the thing before the earthquake. But now after the earthquake has happened, now people don't practice voodoo as much as they used to. Now they're giving their life to Christ. Thus, Mr. Fairdo, the pastor that I was talking about, right? He's the priest, used to be a voodoo priest. Now he gives himself to Christ. Sometimes God got to send an earthquake to change somebody's life, right? And I was reminded that when I look back in the Bible, because I was in my Bible reading from cover to cover for this year, and I skipped over and I passed through, and if you read Deuteronomy 28, it's the same chapter where I talk about God said He's give you the blessings. You be the head and not the tail, above and not beneath, the limb and not the bar, blessed in the city, blessed in the field. Your children going to be blessed, the basket, all this stuff is blessed, right? And it's about 13 verses of blessings, right? However, the second half of that chapter, I don't even say the half, but it's like the next 30 verses he goes on and he talks about the many curses that he was going to bring. And you know, and I was reading that as we was in Haiti and I was meditating on it, and I was just thinking, I was like, this was the Bible said, and read it in Deuteronomy chapter 28. He said, I'm going to make you so afraid, and I'm going to bring your enemies on you so strong that you're going to eat your own children, and you won't even share with your neighbors from eating the flesh you get from killing your own child. God said that, right? He said that. So I know if we're disobedient to Christ, that He has sent things in our life to get our attention. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying, as a church, let's make up in our mind to live for Christ all the time. And sometimes we get, sometimes we might fall away and we don't feel as comfortable, but make it our purpose, even in the ups and the downs, the good, the bad, to say, I'm going to stay rooted and grounded in God, because I don't want Him to send some earthquake in my life to get my attention, right? He had to kill some people in order to get his purpose to go forward and His plan to go forward over in Haiti, and to make them better, He had to knock some stuff down in their life. And I pray, I say, Lord, you know what? Lord, knock them down if they're going to look up to You and get saved. Because eternal life is way greater than temporary life. Amen? So I learned that lesson. I was thinking about that. So I got a few more, and we're going to get out of it. The next thing He taught me, taught me something about the people I pastor. Right? That was great for me. Because when I went over there, I had the attitude of, because I knew I went to Nicaragua, I've been on mission trips, and I know they're not comfortable. I know they're not vacations. They're like, we built the school. We started building a portion of the school, and they don't have it where when they start making Toyota cement trucks, then we can get one up there. But until then, they can't get none up there, right? So how they did it was the mountain itself. All the people got concrete and brick houses, right? Well, concrete houses, because the mountain is made of the material that we put in our concrete. So all they have to do is get a bag of the gray stuff and literally dig outside of the mountain in their backyard and take rocks and build their buildings. And it's gonna be a solid building that's gonna be there. So what we had to do, we had to go up and we had to go into the mountains and take rocks, literal rocks, and pick them up. I'm saying some of them were boulders, right? So so they had to pick the boulders up and we had to bring it down in order for them to build a foundation for the school. And so we were building it, and I looked up and I saw the people. I saw, like, I'm gonna give you an example. I saw Destiny.